and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm joined today by Tychkivskyy. He's the head of the Ukrainian Leadership Academy. It's a brand new educational institution which has just opened here in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. Roman, many thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us. So tell us a little bit more about this, the Ukrainian Leadership Academy. It's a brand new venture, something that's just started.
Yeah, we started not so long ago. Now we have 39 students from basically all over Ukraine. That's when we talk about Leadership Academy. The first thing that comes to my mind, it's about a meaningful gap year you take after you actually graduate from the high school.
Okay.
In order to make a break and think what you need, what you want to do really in life after you have spent 11, 12 years in educational system.
Yes.
So
And you're taking young Ukrainians here. I mean, it's in the name, I suppose, Leadership Academy. You're trying to form them into a new generation of people who can lead this country. That's sort of the aim of...
Yeah, that's what we are following. The idea is that when you start making responsible decisions, you become a responsible person, and then you can actually lead other people. So in our case, we have a very pure statistic in Ukraine that nearly 70% of Ukrainians have never walked according to their higher education profile. So it means that people were making decisions without any consideration. And basically what we have stereotypes in Ukraine that you have to go to the university after high school, and usually it's rush, it's stereotypes, it's a pressure from your friends, from your family, and here we will say, hey, you're talented, you can make a different way.
Okay.
And there is one.
And so this is a way of thinking which perhaps at the moment is a little bit more present in the West at the moment, where kids, after they finish high school, they often take a year, don't they, before they go to university. They travel a bit and they work and they sort of have a bit of time to think about what they're doing. So, I mean, for this Leadership Academy, as much as well as a little bit about trying to change the culture here, I think, in Ukraine, of how people think about higher education and how they think about their careers. Is that right?
And how they think about themselves, first of all. So by giving this year of a break, but that's a break of very hard work on yourself, we are trying to create a conditions where the student will have actually a possibility to think what he or she can do for himself, for herself, and for the country. So basically, they will have a possibility to travel around Ukraine. They will be able to talk to different people. They will do a lot of volunteering in order to feel what are the people in need here and how many areas are still there unopened if they would become a good professionals in the areas they are interested in, and they can do a lot of things here. So we are of course working with foreign partners, and it includes like Great Britain, it's includes Israel.
Yes, and some US money as well is
yeah,
funding
exactly.
this.
Like we are honored to have a Western NIS Enterprise Fund as the first venture capital fund in Ukraine,
yes,
as the first donor of the program.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. But Roman, it seems to me that what we might say about everything that you've described, which sounds all very good, for the students themselves. I mean, it looks like they're going to get a lot of advantages out of this. They're going to get a very good education. They'll have opportunities to travel, to become fluent in foreign languages. But it seems to me that it's possible here that what you're going to be doing is creating just a new generation of elites. And we have a generation of elites in Ukraine now, and trust in them has not always been good.
Yeah.
And so what you're trying to do is create a new sort of a new class who are more Western looking. But I mean, isn't there a danger here? There is a danger here, isn't there? That we're just going to create a new generation of elites. And what are the guarantees that they're really going to help the country? I mean, they're going to enrich themselves, first of all.
That's a very important issue that we are facing. We are trying to actually work on it now at the very beginning when we start doing it. So first of all, what we do, we have selected kids from all over Ukraine and put them in one group for 10 months to make sure, and they're coming from different families. It's usually families that are below like middle class, as we like to say, but they're super talented, and they all have graduated with the best grades from their schools, and they're known among their teenagers in their cities, etc. But we want them to speak now at their level. What would be the country of the Ukraine, or Ukraine of their future? We want them to discuss it now. Plus, we put them in touch with the opinion leaders of today's Ukraine to make sure they get the values and they get the right vectors of development.
Okay.
Even when we say that we would love them to, if they decide to go and study further, do like a highest education, university education, etc., we want them to go to abroad, but that's only because we need strong ambassadors abroad that would study, get the best experience, and come back. We plan long term of how we engage them, not only 10 months, but 5 years after, that we keep an eye on them, we try to invest in them, we help them, and in this way, joining the professional community, professional elite, people who have succeeded because of hard work now, with these teenagers who have decided to change a little bit better than usually most of the kids follow, we believe that we will be able to create a strong community that will be able to take responsibility from the country in the future.
And do you worry at all, though, that creating this new class of people who can go abroad and who are good ambassadors for Ukraine, is there a worry here, though, that the program will lose to some extent its Ukrainian identity? Is there a possibility here? I mean, especially in the current atmosphere, which is after Maidan, and so it's very much, we could argue, just it's in fashion to be Western orientated and to look towards Europe as opposed to, say, Russia, like we did maybe in the past. So, I mean, getting onto this fashion, is there a danger here that we will lose the Ukrainian ownership of this program? That the truly Ukrainian identity is going to be lost in here some way, in a mix of sort of American and European values?
So basically, what this project hasn't been in place without Maidan, actually. So basically, all the team and me personally, and have been inspired by Maidan, and we came up with the idea of this project thanks to the movement that has been here for the last 1.5 years. We were facing a very huge shortage of volunteers in the government, in the ministries, NGOs that would actually help to transform the country, and that's why we decided that we need to prepare young people who would be able to take responsibility now and here and be able to face the challenges the country is challenging. That's why we are saying that students are taught by basically best Ukrainian scholars, Ukrainian professionals. We are working with the big books. It means that big books that have been created, Ukrainian identity through years, and back like 1,000 years ago till now. And we are even talking about some futuristic things in order to learn how to dream.
Okay.
And maybe you know that we are very lack of dreaming.
So, I mean, for example, so all this sounds, I mean, is this sort of a guard, in a way, against simply being a vessel for promoting sort of for promoting American and European values here? Because, I mean, we could see this as, for example, outside interests saw the Maidan as their opportunity to move into Ukraine and push through their own agendas. I mean, Russia's out, Europe and US are in. You don't see it that way?
No, we don't. We think we will be responsible for our own destiny, and we will be taken serious by other partners, Europeans, Americans, only when we are taking us seriously on ourselves. When we say that we can be responsible and we will do maximum what we can do in order to create the better country here now, with own resources, with own people, but we are thankful to partners who help us even from abroad in doing it, without kind of dictating what we have to do. We are completely free. That's why we have brought the group of Ukrainian opinion leaders like Slavko Vakarchuk, Ivan Malkovich, Vlad Troitsky, Bishop Boris Hudyak, the historian Yaroslav Hrytsak, Natalka Popovich, Oksana Semenyuk, and many other people who are well known among Ukrainians as freedom fighters. I mean, in every area they are represented with the people with values, and we want these people to create a curriculum for the academy, and further on help us to develop the concept all over the country.
Ron, many thanks for coming in to speak with us. It sounds like it's a fascinating project. So you have future plans as well. You want to open up these academies, across the country as well.
We want to open it, yeah, exactly. Across the country, we want to involve Ukrainian diaspora young people to come and study throughout the year here to get closer understanding what's Ukraine, what's Ukrainian identity, and take it with them to Australia, UK, or Canada, or other countries where they live, and basically create the critical mass of young, responsible leaders here in Ukraine.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll be watching their progress closely. Perhaps in 5-10 years, they'll be here in the studio talking to us.
I hope so.
Just
too.
as you have been today.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. You've been watching Viewpoint. I've been joined today by Roman Tychkivskyy. He is the head of the Ukrainian Leadership Academy, a brand new educational institute just opened here in the Ukrainian capital. Join us again for another edition. You've been watching Ukraine Today.